Picture this. You're standing at a wedding. The bride looks stunning. The groom looks sharp. Everyone is crying happy tears. The vows are perfect. The kiss gets applause. And in that exact moment, surrounded by 200 witnesses, someone just made the biggest mistake of their life. Here's what's chilling. They know it. Deep down, they absolutely know it. There's a specific kind of silence that happens inside the mind of someone marrying a person they don't truly love. And it isn't peaceful. It isn't romantic. It's the sound of a rational brain violently overriding a screaming heart. Right now, millions of people are waking up next to someone they don't love. Not because they're cruel. Not because they're stupid. But because the fear of being alone felt more terrifying than the reality of being unloved. Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal the hidden psychology behind why intelligent, self-aware people bind their entire lives to someone who makes their soul feel nothing. And more importantly, what happens to the human mind when it's forced to live that lie every single day. Before we go deeper, we need to destroy one of the biggest lies society ever sold us. The idea that love is the main reason people get married. Historically, marriage was never about romance. It was a business deal, a survival strategy, a way to secure land, status, protection, and bloodlines. Love, as a requirement, came much later, when life became safer, longer, and more individualistic. But here's the brutal truth. Even today, that ancient survival instinct still runs deep inside the nervous system. So what actually pushes people into loveless marriages? Psychology points to one powerful force: the fear of staying single. You might not know the word for it, but you've felt it, because there's an invisible social clock ticking in the background of your life. By 30, you should be settled. By 35, you should have kids. By 40, you should have built a life that proves you weren't left behind. As those deadlines approach, without the right person showing up, panic rewrites everything. Your brain stops optimizing for happiness and starts minimizing risk. That's when the criteria changes. You stop searching for a soulmate and start searching for a candidate. Are they stable? Are they loyal? Do they have a good job? Would my family approve? Do we want the same future? The logic becomes simple. I may not love them, but they're safe. And for people who grew up with chaos, poverty, neglect, or instability, safety isn't a preference. It's a drug. When you've lived in survival mode long enough, romance stops feeling essential. What you crave isn't passion, it's relief. A stable partner doesn't feel like a love story. They feel like shelter. A fortress against the unpredictability of the world. Now here's the part most people never talk about. Many people don't marry without love because they're shallow or desperate. They do it because their nervous system was trained, often since childhood, to confuse certain feelings with love. That engine has a name: attachment. Attachment is the blueprint your brain builds early in life about what love feels like, what it costs, and what you have to do to keep it. So when adulthood arrives, many people aren't choosing partners based on connection. They're choosing based on familiarity. For someone with anxious attachment, love doesn't feel calm. It feels uncertain. Something you have to earn. So when they meet someone stable, it feels like salvation, not passion. Salvation. They're not thinking, do I desire them? They're thinking, they won't leave. For someone with avoidant attachment, the trap is different. Real. Intimacy feels dangerous. Being fully seen feels suffocating. So they unconsciously choose someone they don't fully love. Because shallow closeness feels safer than deep vulnerability. Then there's trauma. If you grew up with chaos or emotional neglect, your brain starts mislabeling signals. You mistake drama for chemistry. You mistake anxiety for attraction. You mistake stability for boredom. So when you find someone safe, your mind says this is good, but your body whispers, this isn't love. And without realizing it, you make a lifelong decision under the influence of your past. Now let's get painfully honest. Settling rarely looks like settling in the beginning. It looks like maturity. It looks like peace. So how do you know? Here are the signs. Relief feels stronger than excitement. You don't feel drawn to them. You feel safe from being alone. Your body avoids them. Touch feels like obligation. Kissing feels like performance. You feel lighter when they're not around, not because you hate them, but because your nervous system can breathe. You don't share your real self. Your fears, humor, and deeper dreams stay locked inside. The future feels gray. Stable on paper, empty emotionally. The relationship runs on logistics, bills, schedules, responsibilities, and you fantasize about another life, not another person, another version of you. If you recognize these signs, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your inner world is telling the truth. Because love isn't just compatibility. Love is aliveness. And if the relationship requires you to shrink, numb out, or disappear, that isn't peace. That's survival. Once the wedding ends, a quiet psychological battle begins. Not with the partner, with the mind. Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance. The pain of holding two opposing truths. I promise to love them forever, and I feel nothing when they touch me. To escape that pain, the mind builds stories. Passion is childish. Chemistry fades. Real love is duty. For a while, the story works. But the body doesn't believe it. The silence returns as numbness, irritation, a look great, sadness. Then comes loneliness inside marriage. The most painful loneliness of all. Being next to someone and still having no one. You stop sharing. You start shrinking. Life becomes TRANSACTIONAL. Not angry. Not dramatic. Just hollow. So people cope. Some detach and lower expectations. Some pour everything into work or children. Some escape into fantasy, emotional affairs, or addiction. Not because they're bad people, because they're starving. Eventually, every loveless marriage reaches one of three endings. The first is companionship. The fire is gone, but respect remains. The second is silent hell. Resentment turns into contempt. The third is parallel lives. Two strangers under one roof. Here's the truth. You can survive without passion, but not without respect. So if you see yourself in this story, there are two paths: stay and rebuild. If respect and safety still exist, or leave with dignity. Because life is short. It's better to be alone and authentic than together and invisible. You deserve a life that feels alive. Not just safe, alive. Alive.